Hi, listeners, and welcome to my Holland Update. This is Marianne Manderfield, your host, and today our guest is Captain Chris Tinney with the Holland Fire Department. Hi, Chris. Thanks for being here today.
Good morning.
So we're heading into November and wrapping up October, which was Fire Prevention Month. So this is the perfect time to summarize safety, talk about fire prevention, and everything that the fire department does for our community. To coincide with Fire Prevention Month, you all recently produced a video that targeted older adults, and typically we've seen fire prevention targeting children. So
Right.
What prompted the video?
Our fire marshal has been detailed to the state of Michigan, or the state of Michigan fire marshals, basically a task force. That's the Community Risk Reduction Task Force. And they are constantly looking at trends throughout the state of Michigan as far as where should we be directing our fire prevention efforts, what are the problems, where are people being injured or in fact killed, and how do we direct messaging and strategies to help avoid that in the future. Some of the trends were a little bit more disturbing. Fire generally affects the young and the old anyway. We're finding that people 49 and up are becoming that larger group of people that are falling victim to fire. And that kind of stood as a wake-up call. We have our own opportunities to produce some of these videos, and we thought it was a great opportunity to partner with them and get a message out. When we look at, we've been very fortunate in Holland. I think our last fire-related death was back in 2013. Doesn't mean that it can't happen again.
Sure.
And recognizing that there are trends out there, Holland's not unlike other communities. We certainly have our unique challenges, but as a rule, fire doesn't always discriminate. And seeing that message, or seeing the opportunity to jump on that and say, hey, we need to get this message out and start educating people in that age group about what they need to do to prevent fire, but also how to react. That video is actually more about what you should do if you do have a fire. And I think we spend a lot of time talking about prevention, but we'll also want to look at results and what's going to happen when people actually do have a fire. So that was a real good video that talked about some fire safety messaging, but it also talked about what you do if you actually do have a fire.
And where can they find that video?
Video, cityofholland.com. If you go to the fire department webpage, there is a section on there about the public safety announcements, and that video is embedded or linked there.
Okay. I think in the video, one of the things it talks about is the importance of smoke detectors, smoke alarms, and how much difference does a smoke alarm in somebody's house really make? A working smoke alarm.
Great point. Working smoke alarm. And there's more than one component to just having a smoke alarm. You need to have them. They need to be placed in the right places. We recommend, in fact, they are required new construction, especially in residential homes, making sure you have one in each bedroom, sleeping room, one on each floor, in the pathway to and from those sleeping areas.
Okay.
So we want to have early notification. It's so much more important today. Data suggests that the fire growth rates are much quicker. The time you would have had years ago to escape a house fire is a lot less today.
Is that building materials?
That's
more
building
flammable?
synthetics, those items. You have most upholstery, furniture, things like that need to have some type of UL rating on it. But we're finding that those materials do contribute to smoke.
Okay.
And rapid fire spread throughout a residence. And most of our fatal fires are occurring in residential occupancies. So
Really?
Right.
Okay.
And that's where we really need to see people take a more active role in trying to not only prevent them, but be prepared to respond when they do occur. So having a good working smoke alarm located in the residence where it needs to be, making sure that they are maintained. We recommend that they're tested on a monthly basis, and that use the test function. You're basically just testing the alarm. But what we really want people to do is make sure they change the batteries. If they have batteries, in the smoke alarm. Some of these are electric.
Because some can be hardwired, right?
Correct. In the city of Holland, anything new would be required to have hardwired with a battery backup. So most detectors today have most smoke alarms rather, have some form of battery backup, and those we recommend get changed twice a year. And we always use the slogan, change your clock, change your battery. So that serves as a good reminder.
And that's coming up. I think
it's coming
November,
first week
next
of November.
weekend?
Yeah, it's pretty quick here. Yeah, before we know it, it'll be
So everybody check your batteries.
Yep, check your what do you say? Change your clock, change your battery. I think that's what we said. And with that said, you go. A lot of times we get false alarms, and we get a call from a resident saying, "Hey, my smoke alarms are going off. I don't know what's happening." there's no smoke in the building, we'll respond, and a lot of times we'll find that there's actually dust and dirt, debris that's in the smoke alarm that's creating a false, a false sense of smoke being in the detection device in there. So soft brush with a vacuum, can of compressed air sometimes will help clean that out of there. Okay. Our fire marshal responded to a false alarm the other day. Actually, it was earlier in the month. There was a spider that was in the smoke alarm. So
my goodness.
That actually created the nuisance alarm.
Okay.
But again, it was an opportunity to clean that out, do some education,
Sure.
and focus on results. So.
Sure. Okay. Besides fires, fire department does a lot for the community. When somebody calls 911, what's the level of response and who responds first?
Depends on the call type. If it's a structured fire or fire in a residence commercial fire in an industrial facility, something like that, we are the department that responds. We've got a pretty good response time, anywhere from 3 to 6 minutes anywhere in the community, depending on other call volumes where we're at.
Sure.
That's pretty straightforward. Where it gets a bit more unique is our tiered response to EMS. Understanding that there's not a lot of resources in our area. We are the first responding agency. When you do call 911, you're having a medical emergency, we can respond immediately.
They're all trained EMTs, correct?
Right. All of our personnel are EMT basics.
Okay.
We've also we carry a lot of different equipment too within that licensure that maybe people don't think we do. Automatic chest compression devices. We do carry some medications now that are a lot different than we used to do in the past. Our scope of practice has changed. We're starting to see kind of a narrowing between the advanced EMT and the basic EMT. So there's a lot of things we couldn't do before that we can do now. My charge to our people is if there's a tool or technique within our scope of practice, we need to get that, get it into our system, train on it, get it on our vehicles, and make sure we're ready to provide that. But with that said, we are the first responding agency. There wouldn't be enough ambulances in the area. It would be probably uneconomical or not economical to have that many resources in the area. So we respond first. We get there sometimes with the ambulance. Sometimes there's times they may beat us, but more often than not, we arrive on scene. We start our patient assessment. We do start treatment. And we even start packaging the patient to get them ready for AMR to transport them to the hospital.
Okay. I did not know that. So that's why I see fire trucks at a car accident or
Right. And on a car accident or vehicle crash, we do use there's equipment on those vehicles that it's designed to actually extricate people from the jaws of life. We have extrication tool, airbags, struts, cribbing, that type of stuff that we would use to stabilize the vehicle to even get the patient out of there to treat them. So in our model here, we use what's called a rescue pumper concept. Everything we need to respond to most calls we have in the city is placed on one vehicle. We have 3 of those.
Okay.
One at the Waverly Station, one at the Collin Park Station, and we actually have our Station 3 truck. It's probably not set up quite as much as a rescue pumper, but all of those vehicles are licensed as EMS vehicles.
Okay.
And they carry, basically as a rolling toolbox, we carry everything we need to respond to any type of call, the most common calls that we have in the city of Holland. I joked the other day that those vehicles wouldn't need a fire station per se. They have everything they need on them. They're a little bigger. It's they're not as agile as some of the smaller vehicles we had in the past. But today we've adapted our current staffing model, which is a little bit smaller, or quite a bit smaller than what it used to be in the past, to still meet the performance criteria we think we need to have to provide a good service.
Well, thank you, Chris, for being with us today. Appreciate it. And until next month, this is my Holland Update.